As I was saying earlier in my story, the language that we use with ourselves and with others will define the way we live our lives. What do I mean with that? Let's say, for example, that you say to yourself, I'm not a morning person. I don't know how many times I've heard that. No, I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. And you keep repeating that over and over and over and over and over again. Now, from the point of view of a research, from the point of view of neuroscience, what's happening in your brain is that your brain is creating, those synapses in there are firing up and are creating new neural pathways that are going to be filled with that energy every time you repeat those things. Now, once that happens, you create that association. Your brain, your thought pattern, and all the things that you think about are going to go through that pathway. So it becomes a fact in your life, although it's not the reality. It's something that you may have heard from other people and you keep on repeating. I make an incision in there. Our subconscious mind, what it does is it picks up everything around us, and we're not aware of it, okay? So this is called an engram. An engram is something, a thought, or not a thought, I mean, a conversation, an idea that your subconscious mind has picked up from the outside environment. Now, that idea, that conversation, that word, what's happening there is that the brain doesn't know the difference between coming in from the outside or being generated by you. So the brain, the subconscious mind, will assume that thought, that piece of a conversation that you heard comes from you, and it will place it in the place that it needs to be. It will create that neural pathway. Okay, better explain this with an example. Let's say I'm sitting in a restaurant, and I'm sitting with a friend in a restaurant, and I'm talking to this friend, and we're getting into the conversation, and in the table next to me there's somebody else. Now next to me there's a couple, let's say, and that couple, they're arguing, they're fighting, and one of them says to the other, "You are always the same. You always do this to me," in an angry way, okay? Now, although I'm talking to my friend, my subconscious mind is picking up that sentence right there, and it's recording that sentence. That sentence gets recorded in my brain, and the brain doesn't know that it doesn't come from me. So therefore, it becomes an engram. It becomes a thought structure that is going to be repeated when the conditions outside meet the current condition, the current situation in which I am at the moment and they are at the moment. Let's say, for example, a month after, I'm walking about, I'm going to enter in a restaurant, I'm waiting for my friend, or I don't know, for a significant other, and we sit down and we're talking. The conversations gets a little bit weird and stuff like that, but the same environment, repeats itself. The conditions are given for my brain to speed out that pattern. The conversation gets steered to that point. And what happened? The subconscious mind gives that thought to the conscious mind, and we spit that thought out. Sorry for the long explanation. I apologize for that. I mean, there's no other way to explain it. Coming back to the topic, okay? We don't know all the things we have in our head. So sometimes we find ourselves saying things to people that don't even come from us. And it's not even an accurate reflection of who we are or what we represent. Why do I say to mind the way you talk to yourself? Because of the fact that whatever you say to yourself, as I say in most of my videos, becomes a reality. Now, how can we counteract? How can we defend ourselves from these patterns? How can we defend ourselves and protect our future life from being not that good and outstanding? Well, the first thing to do is to keep an eye in the way you speak. The words that you use. Use powerful words so you can enhance yourself mentally, physically, socially, and in any way. Whatever supports your goal and your reality, you have to ditch first that mediocre language pattern. Don't talk like anybody else. Be yourself, as I always say. But when I say be yourself, I mean be the person you are, but be mindful of what comes from the outside. Don't speak from your insecurities. Speak from your assets. Your assets are the most important things that you have. Liabilities, ignore them. You don't need to even care about them. Why? Because of the fact that you care about liabilities. What are you going to get? Liabilities in your life. Understand the fact that if we change the way we speak to ourselves, we would change the results of our lives. Now, the second thing. When I said to you to start using positive language, I meant to say to always, since the very moment you wake up, go to the mirror and talk to yourself in the best way possible. Look at yourself and say, man, you look amazing. How smart you are. This is unbelievable. Start using words to condition your brain to create new neural pathways. So every day, by repetition, those patterns, those language patterns, those words, those neural pathways become alive, and the old ones start drying out. Seek always to enhance yourself, your image, what you represent, internally first, mentally. Okay, there's a lot of people out there and a lot of situations out there that may have given us in the past, certain insecurities. We ourselves have that little voice in our mind that is always telling us, you're not good enough. Who's telling you that you are going to achieve something in your life or anything in your life? Those, my friend, are the ones that we ignore. We don't want that. Focus on the ones that tell you you can do it. This is a great day. It doesn't matter if your day is going to shit. That doesn't matter. Decide, make the choice that you are going to take care of the way you speak to yourself. You do that consistently every day, and I guarantee you, in a couple of weeks, the turnaround that you're going to give is insane, amazing, unbelievable. Look, if you don't take anything from what I'm saying, only if something takes up in your brain, let it be the fact that speaking with an average language, with average words, will define the results of your life. Change that. Seek always words that are expansive, words that give you power, words that are forward moving. Use something, a kind of mechanic, I would say, to alert yourself when you're falling into the old patterns of speech. And once that happens, don't beat yourself up. Just recognize it, let it stay for a little bit, and then change it by using the interruption patterns. Interruption patterns. When that thought comes to your brain, to your mind, yeah, it's already existing in the present because it came to you. Then you shout out, no, enough. I mean, you have to verbalize it. What's happening in your brain when you do that? The brain gets a gap. It can be a couple of nanoseconds, microseconds, seconds, it depends, but it chopped up that pattern. And then you can redirect. The magic of redirection is what's going to give you, redirection, repetition, that's what's going to give you those new neural pathways that are going to allow you to expand your life, to grow, to be more successful, to achieve whatever you want to achieve, but consistency is key. Remember, people are going to think you're crazy. Imagine you're walking around the street and you have this horrible thought or these insecurities in your head, hammering around, trying to make some space in your brain, and suddenly you're walking out and you say, stop, enough, and then redirect. What can you use as a redirection? As a redirection, you can use, I love myself. You can use the typical, I'm the best. I'm improving at every single turn. I am the best I can be. Things like that are going to break that thought pattern. Now, please, I know the videos are long, but please listen. And even if you can take a little bit of it, please use it. You'll be surprised how many people out there, how many of my clients, how many of other coaches' clients sit down to watch a video, they listen, but they never execute. You gotta be different. Because if you want to be the engine in your life, the change maker, the mover, the shaker, you are gonna take action. And you're gonna at least do a little bit of what I'm advising in here. But that's it, that's me. Be blessed, have a great day, a great afternoon, a great night, and remember, before you go to sleep, remember to set your mind for the next day. Think about your goals, forget about your liabilities, be the best you can be. God bless you.